To do my live demo, I normally connect to the lab in the US, but today I want to do it in a different way. So I will log into my Link Live account, and on the left-hand side I will select Units. All of those units that are here are claimed into my account. The one I want to connect to is the AirCheck G3 on the top here. And when I select that unit, on the right-hand side you can see I have access to the remote option. This remote is only available if the AirCheck G3 is under a valid AliCare support. And remember, when you purchase the AirCheck G3, it does come with 1 year AliCare support included. So I click on the remote here to access my AirCheck G3. And here, this is the home screen from the AirCheck G3. So those applications are per default installed on the device. Now, you can actually, from the bottom to the top, swipe the screen, and there are other third-party applications that has been installed there. And to have them on the main screen, you can just drag and drop. If application that you want to use is not inside there, you can always go to the App Store. You can do a search, or you can scroll up and down. When you find the application, you will download it and install it. But bear in mind, it will not show on the main screen here. You will have to go back on that list here and then drag and drop into the main screen. On the top, you have the time. Next to it, you have the scan, passive scan, basically. So it goes from the 2.4, 5 gig and the 6 gig band. This is a 6 gig band scan because on the top left, you can actually see that there is a little E for extended. And I explained that on the presentation just early on. So the 6 gig band share channel with the 2.4 and 5 gig band. And to define which band we are scanning, if you see the E on the top, means that we are on the 6 gig band. Then if you actually swipe the screen from the top to the bottom here, you can activate it, the Bluetooth. You have the information that the remote is active on the device itself, and you also have the information of the Wi-Fi management port IP address. So first, what I want to show you is the auto test features. I prefer to call it the connectivity test. So let's open this here. On that list, you have profile that have already been set up. So I have on the top here air quality, and I have 3 Wi-Fi profile, 2.4, 5, and 6. If you want to create a new one, you just click on the plus here, and then you can add Wi-Fi or air quality profile here. So those that you have here will run when you start. When you click on start, you will go from the air quality, then it's going to jump to the 2.4, 5, and 6 gig. Now, if you say, well, I don't really want to have the 6 gig because I don't have a 6 gig band channels here, so I'm only interested in the 2.4 and 5. So I will only select those two from the list of the profile that has already been created on my device here, and I will jump back. Now, I can only see the 2 profiles that has been created, and if I click on start, I will scan the profile from the 2.4 channel, and the second one will be from the 5 gig. So let me show you how you do that. I will take the 2.4 profile here. You select the name here, you enter the name, that is 2.4. You have the Wi-Fi connection here, SSID. So something is important here. I will delete that here, and then when I delete it, I will have access to all the network that are available around where I am here. Okay, so I'm going to select 2.4. Just go back here. Now, if you are creating some profile that will be used on the customer side, obviously in that list, that SSID won't be shown. You can just enter the information manually. Authentication. So you have the it's a WP82, but you also have on the below here the personal enterprise Wi-Fi 6, so WP83. You need to enter a password, and then you go to advanced here. In advanced, you will have the possibility to actually select a specific BSSID, or you can leave it as blank. So if you put any, it will actually scan all those BSSID. You have the band here. So you can, when you create your profile, you can create a profile per specific band or leave it as auto. Then you have the ROM threshold. Per default is minus 70 dBm. You can change it for minus 75 or minus 65, but you can also enter a custom value by clicking on the little pencil that you have here. And then when you come back to the main screen, then you click on Start, and then the start of the scan will be activated now. So if you just select the 2.4, you will see exactly what process it is going through here. So you will have first the link speed, you will have the channel details and information, you will have the access point information, DHCP, DNS and router. So all of those are in green. You can expand any of those. So if you want, on the top you have ICE 2.4. If I click on that, I have the signal strength, so minus 57 dBm. I have the data rate, 144.4. I have the ROM, so obviously if I was moving during that scan and going from the first AP to the second AP, then I will have ROM number 1, then ROM number 2, and so on. And by the way, on the top here, there is a little wheel. You can actually click on that, and here you don't need to actually come back to the screen where we are before. You can, from here, go back to the advanced, and here you can actually select a specific ROM threshold that you want to use. From here, you can also select the SSID, for instance, and when you click on that, you will have information of that specific SSID. So here we go. So you have the APs, you have the MAC address, BSSID there, the channel number 6, and you also have client. So if we add any client connected to that specific SSID, then it will be showing here. You also have the AP. So if I select that, then I will go to the AP information. So it actually shows some problem here. We have the SSID that are shown, the BSSID, channels, and client are 0. The problem is very simple. If you click on that, and then there are 2 problems that shows here. So let me take the first one on the top here. On the problem, it will actually tell you the problem description. So the BSSID has reported a country code that is inconsistent with order in the area, and it will have also a recommendation. Okay, so this is a great place to be when you want to actually troubleshoot any issue that you have on your wireless. You can always scan either one channel or all the channel, and it will report any issue or severity, error, problem, warning, and so on. That will guide you of what and how to actually solve those specific issues. On the below here, you have the signal, but you also have the noise, so therefore the SNR value will be defined here, or will be provided. You also have the non-802.11, so non-Wi-Fi signal, or information that matter, and then you have retry rate and the transfer rate that will be shown here as well. So on the profile group now, that 2.4 profile is available. You can export those profiles into your Link Live account. So you can select all or just 1 or 2. And then you can have those made available and push into any other AirCheck G3 that are claimed into your Link Live account. What you can also do on the top here, it says periodic auto test. You can rerun the auto test every 10 minutes. That will upload the test result into your Link Live account, and that will be for a duration of 2 hours. The maximum will be 24 hours to select from this list here. So you don't need to be on site, you will just leave the AirCheck there, you lock the screen, and every 10 minutes the AirCheck will rerun the auto test and upload those into your Link Live account. So now the 2.4 profile has been created and ready to use. Before I go to this, on the top here you can see periodic auto test. If you click on that, you have the possibility to rerun the test to a specific interval. So here it shows 10 minutes and to a specific duration, which is 2 hours. I mean, obviously the interval can be changed here from 1 to 60 or enter a custom value. And the duration can be up to 24 hours. What does that mean? It means that every 10 minutes the auto test will rerun and the test result will be uploaded into your Link Live account. So you just lock the screen from the device and leave it on site there. What you can also do here is those profiles, you can select every single of them and upload those into your Link Live account. When they are uploaded to Link Live, you will be able to share those profiles to any other AirCheck G3 that you have claimed in your account. But you can also export a specific profile that you want to use to a specific device. So the test result from the 2.4, you will have the signal value on the top there, minus 57 dBm. You will have the data rate showing there. The SSID that is used, so it's ICE 2.4. You have the security, WP8U. Information about your access points, the BSSID, MAC address if you wish. You also have the channel, so we were on the channel number 6. You have information of the signal and noise, therefore you will have the SNR value there as well. You have the non-Wi-Fi utilization, and you also have the retry rate together with the transfer rate here. What you can do from here, you can select capture, and on the capture, you will be able to set the file size that you want to have, so 1 MB to 1 gig. Then you can select the slice side that you want, the channel, and you can add or enable the frame that you want to have. So do you want to have the control frames, data frames, management frames, and beacon included? Or if you say, well, I don't want to have that one, or I don't really need this, then you can actually just unselect it, and then we'll only report what has been selected to that list here. When the capture is done, it will create a pickup file that you can save locally on the device, but you can also export that into your Link Live account as well. So you can upload it afterwards with Wireshark, for instance. Let's go back here. Do you have the information of the channels? So non-utilization and Wi-Fi utilization and non-Wi-Fi utilization. You have the frequency here. What is great, you have the options here to select on the below header the channel details, channel map. And if you click on those little three here, then you can again run a capture. So if I select channel details, for instance, I will come here and I will have the information of the SSID, the APs, all my MAC address or BSSID if you wish, the client, and I can actually run a traffic statistic there as well. So let's see and select client, for instance here. I will select the first one on top here. So I will have the information of that specific client, but hey, if I want to know where it is located, I just can click on that little tool on the below right here, and then select locate, and then from there I will be able to go and move around to actually locate that device. You can also use the external antenna. It will be a little bit more accurate to find it, especially in a very crowded environment. But if you do not have that external antenna, you can just use the device as it is. You have the same, by the way, options to locate access point as well. So let's go back to that screen, and then you have the channel map information. So let's leave it a few seconds and you will see that the channel utilization here. Say for instance that I want to have information on the channel 11, for instance. So I select that channel, and on the below here I have the options to see the channel details or the spectrum. So we'll go to channel details, and those are the information that I will actually get from here. So if I select the APs, then I will have the list of all the APs here, and come back once, select the SSID, then I will have all the SSID. What I want to show you here is that we can also detect and show hidden SSID, the one that you see on the top here. So let's go back. Then you have the information of the device itself, of the access points. And so we have the channel stick, we know the type that is used. If you click on the device name on the top here, then you will go back to the page where if any problem has been detected during the scan that has been done, that will be shown here. So if you click on the problem, Then you will have, select the top one here, you will have the problem description, and then you will also have the recommendation. And you can find the list on the, when you actually do a discovery, I will show you that later on. You will have all the warning, and you will have the problem that has been described and how to solve those issues. And this is very important when you do some troubleshooting, because you can really simply read what is there, and that will guide you of how and when to actually troubleshoot to find a solution basically to the problem that you face. So when this is done, by the way, when the problem has been solved, you can go on the top there and just say clear problem, and they are gone. So if you redo an auto test, if any problem has been detected, you will come back to exactly the same spot and see if that has been solved or if you still have some issues there. DHCP information basically is the time that has been offered, the time that has been get, how long it took to actually get that IP address. DNS information. From here you can use other options such as Telnet and SSH, and then you will have the same for the router here. On every page, by the way, if you open the channel here, on the top right there is that little wheel again where you can enter all the threshold information that has been defined there. So you can actually make any modification that you want and rerun the test to add those extra information that you have selected here. And you can do the same with the, basically if you go to the ice on the top, I talked about the ROM before. If you go on the top here, then you can actually go to the advanced, and in advanced you can actually select a specific ROM threshold that you want to use. Per default is 70. But you have also -75, -65, and use the pencil to enter a custom value here as well. So that was for the 2.4. On the 5, you will get the information basically on the channel 48 here. And then all the information that has been described will be exactly the same showing here. On air quality, as you can see here, there is a little, just come back here, there is a little dot on the side, it says no, it's just number 1 here. If I open this and I go to the code channel interferences, there are the channel shows there, and there is also the AP. When you see the APs, it says on channel 6 4, and then there is that little dot on the side here. So I want to know what's going on. If I go to the little wheel on the top there, open the threshold information, I can actually see here that the warning for threshold on APs, or per APs if you wish, is 4. It's the one that it shows here basically. So if I change that for 5 and I come back to my screen and rerun the test, then this little dot here will disappear because I will be basically above the threshold. Makes sense. And that will be for all the other as well. And you can add some comment here, but if you scroll completely on the below here, then you can actually go from here and upload that graph into your Link Live account. And you can also select the channel map. And on the channel map, we come back to where we were early on. Well, you can actually just select the channel, and when you do so, then you have access to channels details and the spectrum on the below here. So this is the auto test or connectivity test, and remember there is this little wheel here. Those are all the tests and profile that has been created. So not the test but profile that has been created that can be shared and used on any other AirCheck G3 that you have claimed in your account. The Discovery app. The AirCheck G3 Discovery application creates an inventory of the device on your network, along with the attributes such as the device types, the name, addresses, interface, VLAN, and so on. The discovery of all the devices are done via ARP and ping sweeps using SNMP, DNS, MDNS, and NetBIOS query. This is a passive traffic monitoring. The maximum devices that can be found are 2,500. So let's open the discovery here. First thing on the top, the menu will give you the discovery settings, problem settings, scan settings, TCP port scan setting, and general settings. So on the top here you will have the SNMP, V1, V2, and V3. You can actually select the port that you want to scan. You also have the extended range here. So if you have some subnet in your network, you can add those in this list in here. Just click on plus here. Go to the address. On your address, you go to the drop-down menu here, and all of the subnet that has been discovered will be listed here. So if you select any of them, the device belonging to those subnet will be added to the discovery. Just go back here. I don't want to keep this one, so I'm going to delete it. Okay. Then we also have a list of the devices. So you can actually select from here, I can filter in a way any of those devices. If you say I just want to have the information of the switches, VoIP device, Wi-Fi client, and virtual machine, you just unselect the router and so on. You have the refresh interval, you have the device health interval, and there is one option that is good here, is the SNMP delay query. So if you have all devices that makes a little bit more time to respond to the query, you can set up to 5 seconds, so you know for sure that all the devices, regardless if they are old or new, can actually be displayed on your discovery list. On the top here you have the save, so you can actually export that specific profile that has been done or setting that has been done, and then you can use them into other devices as well. You also have the problem settings. You have network and Wi-Fi problem. So if you click on this, you will have all of those thresholds that you can set in here. And then there is a little information on the side here that will explain exactly what they are. So when you do a discovery, you get the information from every single devices that are there, but you also have the possibility to get filtering to the problem. And on the problem, you will be showing all the devices that report a warning. And it will refer to the threshold that has been defined in here. You also have the TCP port scan setting. So this is an open field. You can enter any of them extra if you want to. There is the interface on the top here. So either you select any port or you actually select the one that you want to use. And remember, you create a profile here so you can actually upload that into your link live as well and share that with other devices that you have. In here you have a list of all the devices that has been discovered. On the top there is a filter here. And on the filter, you can actually select what do you want to see. I want only to see the routers, network server, and so on. You can actually just select the one that you are interested in. So we say just router. Come back to the main page. On the top, it will show 1/115. So you have one router out of 115 devices that has been discovered. If you want to take that filter away, just click on the sign here, and it will disappear. You also have a filter on the NS domains, SSID, band, channel, and so on. And what I was referring on just earlier is on this list here, you can open, so you can select problem, device types, IP addresses. Let's go to the problem here. In here, you will have listed all the devices that have reporting a warning of an error. So I will take and select the first one on the top here. And on the below, you can see there is error. In the matter of that, there is 6 here. So if you select any of them, you will have the problem description and, most importantly, the recommendation of how to solve those problems. When this is done and they are saved, you can actually just clear the problem here. And if you rerun a discovery, if the problems are still shown there, then you will have to investigate a little bit further. So I will select another one here, the Beijing here, for instance. And then you can go to the problem once more. And the problem is going to tell you the problem description on the top and the recommendation again. You can actually see right away on the top that the threshold has been exceeded is on 40%. So you can just go back to the main screen. Set an other threshold if needed above the 40% if you want to allow this to not be a problem anymore. Or what you can do, just go to the recommendation here and see exactly what is the problem and how to solve it. Go back to the main page. So here I will display the name, and you have all the name from the devices there, so it's very easy to kind of filtering in a way of my iPhone here. So if I want to click on this and I say, well, I want to do a port scan here or a ping test or path analysis, then I can actually do it right away from that screen. What's nice here is you don't really need to actually jump and go from one screen to another. You can add every single application that are on the home screen. You can actually get all of them from that specific discovery screen in here. So again, if I click on the little tool here and I want to know where that iPhone is located, I just click on locate. And then you can actually do it in two different ways. There is external antenna that you can connect on the device here. It's going to give you a little bit more accuracy, especially if it's a very crowded environment. But if you don't have the external antenna, you can just run the test like this. Just start moving around and it's going to actually show you on the screen. And when you when you reach minus 20 dBm or so, then you're sure that you are basically on the top of the device itself. Other information you will have here is the channel. So you type AX, AC, and A. We have a channel 48. We have the signal strength, 54 dBm. The SNR is shown there as well. And I can, if I want, select the SSID. And from the SSID, I will have the information of the AP, the BSSID, channels, and clients. So again, if I go here, I will know exactly what clients are connected to that specific device here. Let's go back 2 steps. From here, you can click on the channel and add the information of that specific channel. So there's hidden SSID here, there's 5. There is the AP's information, 6, BSSID, the MAC address basically, client, and the traffic statistics. So you can actually let that run and get all the information as you go through. And then you have the information of the Wi-Fi and non-Wi-Fi utilization, retry rate, and so on. Let's go back. So you can see there is a lot of click needs to be done to actually go from one menu to the other, but you get used to it, and there is a huge amount of information that you can get when you actually are just looking for a specific device. For instance, if I go here and I select Wi-Fi client, then I come back to my main screen, and then I will say, for instance, I will take this one. And the same that we saw before, you can just, so if it's a device that has been connected to your network, that's been discovered, but you know what that device is, you can actually just authorize it. So if I want here, I will say, okay, I know that device, I know exactly what it is. I say demo, for instance, this is my own network anyway, so I know exactly what that is, and I will authorize it. And when I do so, I do okay here. When I come back to the main screen where all the devices are listed, you can see on the top here, you actually say demo. You will use this if you, for instance, connect the device to your network, such as, for instance, a new access point that you want to do a demo for a week or so. Instead of having just IP address showing on the top here, to make sure that all your colleague knows what it is as well, then you can actually say testing AP for duration of 1 week and then your name. And that will make it clear for everybody that this is definitely something that you have added into your network and you are aware of. Come back to the filter here, I can actually delete it. And then you can also set filters on the IPv4 the SSID that are there as well. You can actually select, for instance, if I want to see all the hidden, then I will select this one, come back to the main screen, and I will have the information of all of this hidden. Yeah. So it's a very easy and nice to use. You can go to the BSSID to get more information of that specific SSID, BSSID channels, and so on. And every time that you have a name or a line that is highlighted here, then you are able to actually go further, to actually go deeper, to find exactly if there is any issues. You can actually just use that little tool on the below here, and just make sure that you actually add that in your network if you know exactly what it is. So let's go back to the main screen once more here. All of those information can be, when you actually do the demo, discovery, you can actually upload that into your Link Live account. So to do so, on the top, there's 3 little dots in here, and then you can just click on that. You can upload to Link Live, and here you will delete the number. It will be always showing a specific number. I just delete it and just put demo April, let's say 2023, for instance. And I save the whole discovery into your Link Live account, and I'm going to show you that in a minute, how it looks like. What you have also here, mentioned that before, you can select SSID, MAC address, manufacturing MAC address, and so on. So every time that you select any of them, you will have the information showing on that listing here. So let's go back to the name, for instance. So we saw the filter. If I select, for instance, this one, there, the NetAlly, I will have the IP address that will be shown here, and I also will have the MAC address. This is the Dell laptop that I'm using here. If I want to have information of, for instance, let's go back to this one here. I want to have the router and the network server here. And if I come back to it, I will select the latest one. And here, I will be able again to do all those tests. So paternizing, the ping test, and so on. And there is a more there, so if you click on that little dot here, you can also run those tests here and so on. So what I always say is that is very nice features to have, because you have every single information as you go through. You do not really need to come back to the main screen to run, for instance, the Wi-Fi to actually get information of all the channels there. You don't need to go and run the capture, because you can actually do that directly from here. So it's a very, very easy, you know, if someone comes to you and disturb you a little bit and you say, what was I doing? It's always a little bit difficult to come back on time and say, oh yeah, I was there, now I'll come back, you know, and start again. With the application of Discovery or any other application that you have on the AirCheck, you can always, you know, stop where you are. And if you are lost, you just come back one step, and that will indicate, oh yeah, okay, I was doing that test now. Another thing is, when a problem has been solved, you can actually see on the top, resolve one. So let's go back to the filtering here. I just want to actually go back to the name. So if I go to the name, I can do some filter here. I'm going to choose the router and the switch. Just expand that again. So it creates your filter on the top here. Come back to the main page. And here I'm going to select this switch, for instance. From here, I will be able to get the IP address information. I have all the VLAN here in details. And I also have all the interfaces that has been used. So it's up 12, down 12. And when you do so, you actually go here. There's also a loopback that has been created here. I'm going to take the MG6, for instance, here. And then I will have the speed link here, the duplex, the information about that specific connection here. I will have the VLAN. If any device is connected to it, I will see them in here. So let's go back. Maybe I will find another port that has more information, such as maybe the G3 here. So on the G3, I've got one device. If I click on that, I will be able to actually see the device that is connected here. And if I click on this device, then I will have the port number, the VLAN used, IP address, and so on. Remember, there's always that little tool on the right here that you can go further to run other tests, such as path analysis, TCP, capture. So once more, I repeat myself, I know, but there are no need to go back to the main screen. If you want to run a capture test or a ping test or path analysis, you can actually do it directly from the discovery. So we have uploaded the discovery into Link Live. So let's just open Link Live now. This is my Link Live account. On the top, I'll go to the result, and if I go down, I can select analysis, and this is where all the discovery will be uploaded, and also the path analysis, by the way. So the last one that was uploaded is the one that I just made here. I made a typo, 2923. I was wanted to make 2023. Anyhow, on the side you have the analysis. So if you select analysis here, you will have the list that we saw early on the AirCheck here. So all those devices will be shown in that list, and you can actually select any of them to have further information. When you do so, you can expand, let's see, to the AirCheck, for instance, here. Then you have the information of the access point, the channel that has been used, the type, IP, information, SSID, and the security type. You can always use that little cursor on the back here to actually export those information to a report. Again, same that we had on the AirCheck itself, you have all the device type filtering here. So if you want to say, I just want to see the APs, you can actually select the one that you are looking for or you want to look at. Go back to the analysis here. You have the topology. So we are able to see the topology mapping here. So obviously this is my network, there's not that many showing here, but I'll just make it slightly bigger. And on the top left here, you have the layout. Do you want to see it in circular or hierarchical? So basically, you know, if you have a huge network, it's probably good to actually have that specific view. Remember, I've not mentioned that before, but you can export all of this into Visio as well for more clarity if you wish. So here you can select the name, manufacturer name, and it will change on the map here. You can select the IP4 information. On the wireless side, you have the SSID, so every time they click that, it will be referring the SSID or showing the SSID on the map here. Then goes for channels, media types, security, and so on. Same will be with the wire connection, so you have the VLAN, port, speed, and duplex that can be shown there as well. On the side here, you can see there's some color code, so error, warning, and resolve. And if you want to select one of those devices, you can just click on it, and then you will have the information. So there's one problem, and it will explain exactly what was the problem on the warning here. What you can, as mentioned before, you can export this into a Visio. Of course, you need to have a license for Visio. It's a Microsoft license in a way, and then you will be able to export all that information into the document that you can give to your customer or your manager or somebody that does not really understand network very well. It will be a little bit easier with Visio to actually read what has been discovered and what is on your network. Another thing, as I mentioned that before, is that you have also what we call the discovery difference. So you can do a discovery today and you can do another in maybe a week or 2 weeks time. And then you will select those two discovery that you have made and you will run the topology. So what is going to give you here is the information of devices that has been taken out from your network, will be marked in red, and missing information or missing devices that are being disconnected from your network. And this is color coded there, so it's very, very easy to understand exactly what has been, you know, taken out and what has been added into your network. It's a nice feature to have, so you can keep track, maybe not on a weekly basis, but every time that you add some new devices or you want to have, you know, a new report, then you can just rerun that topology and compare with the one that was done a few months ago, a few weeks ago, a few days ago, and then you have exactly that on the screen here. You can also export this, as mentioned before. Click on that and then you will export it. It's going to give information of what you see on the screen. Basically, it's going to be just a topology image that you will have there, no more, no less. And what you can also have here is there's those three little dots. You can actually create some album management. You can edit. So if you edit, you can change the titles. That make me change to 2023. Maybe I will make that in capital letter as well. And then it will actually change on the top here. So I mentioned you can also, if you open the topology here, let's go back to that. When it does open, you can export into Visio. And this is how it's going to look like on your Visio application. So you can obviously zoom in, zoom out, you can change the display if needed, and so on. You can also move as well. Basically use all the visual features, and you can actually hand that to your customer or to your boss, or just keep it as a record for yourself. So that was the discovery application. Next I want to show you will be the Spectrum application here. The Spectrum application is a dual band Wi-Fi spectrum analyzer that will measure Wi-Fi signal information and provide data about signal strength as well as noise. This application, remember, required to have the NXT1000 portable spectrum analyzer USB device that will be connected on the top of the device itself or on the side. On the Spectrum application, you have three possible views. So you have the frequency spectrum, the one that we see now, you have the waterfall, and the real time. So let's go back to the Spectrum view. The blue and green colors here indicate the less radio frequency detected. The yellow, orange, and red indicate the repeated presence of radio frequency, and the darkest blue indicates infrequent radio frequency. If I change and I select the waterfall, so the waterfall will display or draw the new data from the top and scroll older data downward, and that will happen over 2-minute interval. So this provides a visualization of radio frequency activity over the time. So on the left hand side here I've got the display of the time, and on the below here horizontal information are the channels, which is 1 to 24, because we have selected 2.4 gig. If I go and change here to 5 gig, let's do that now, and then I will apply. Then when I come back to that screen we had before, you can actually see that now we have the 5 gig channel here. Okay, and then you can actually from here save all the graph into the Link Live account. And the third is the real time. So the real time display shows the current value across the frequency band that will colorize line from the current measurement, the average measurement, and the highest measure value, which is basically on the top here, the max hole. So the yellow indicates, the yellow line indicates the current value, the blue line indicates the average value as indicated here, and the green line indicates the highest measure value in dBm. And you can select some frequency here, and then you will have the information display on the top. You can actually stop this if you want, or pause it in a way, and then you can from here upload that graph into Link Live. Just let's do that now. I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like. I will just put simple demo here, and then I will say OK, next, and then upload. And in my Link Live account here, you go, so on the side you see, remember there's a test result, there's a unit, files, analysis, AirMapper. You go to files here, and then this is where you're going to see that screenshot uploaded. So let's go back now to the AirCheck home screen again. So another key features on the AirCheck G3 is the AirMapper application. So the AirMapper site survey application enables you to perform Wi-Fi survey of an indoor or outdoor location, and you can upload the test result into your Link Live account. Remember that on the AirCheck G3 we have 2 Wi-Fi radio, and we also have Bluetooth radio, which means you can do active, passive, and BLE survey at the same time. So let's open AirMapper here. First, you will go to the top menu, AirMapper settings. First thing that you will have to do is to import a floor plan. So just click on the floor plan here. And there are 2 ways to import floor plan, either via USB stick connected to the device itself or via Link Live. So here, I've connected a USB stick on the top of my device, and I'm going to select a floor plan here. I will take this one. On the top here, I will select a name. I will say demo, for instance. Okay. Then I will have to scale it. You can actually see here there is two cursors. So you can place those two cursors in a place that you know the distance. And I will say, for instance, here we have 50 meters. And then you say, okay. Come back one step. Second will be to define the signal propagation. So let's say this is an open office. So it will be about 8 meters. So I will come back. I have now my project defined. What I want to do next is which sort of survey do I want to run? Either a passive survey or active survey. So you can here only connect or select one of them. And remember what I just said, that you can perform two survey, passive, active survey at the same time, plus the BLE as well. So in here, before you go any further, if you want to do the active and passive survey at the same time, first thing you have to do is go back to the main page here, go to auto test. In auto test, you will select the profile that you want to use, which here is 5.0. So let's start this one. So what I'm doing here, I'm connected to my network. And when all those tests that are running here will turn green, then I will have a physical connection to that specific SSID. And from that moment, I will go back to the AirMapper application. So it is now done. And on the AirMapper, I will now select the passive survey. So in here we have the first radio that is connected to my network, and the second radio will be connected and do the passive survey. What you can also here do, you can select the band, so which band do you want to use, 2.4, 5, 6, and so on. And then you can also select the channel from those specific bands. So if you don't want to have all of them, you can select the non-overlap channel, for instance. I will leave it as a default here. And you can do the same with the 5 gig. So when this is done, you go back to the main screen, and of course, you can, let's see, rotate it a little bit. And you can also zoom inside that floor plan as well. I will click on Start here. And when I click on Start, I will place the cursor on my mouse in that specific spot here, for instance. It's a touch screen. I'm using the mouse because I'm doing the demo here, but you can just click or press on the screen, and then you will be able to actually collect those data points here. And then you can start moving around. I say about maybe 5 meters, something like this. You will stop and then click on the screen to actually collect some new data, and then you will go all around here. Just move slightly so that I can see more on that office in here. So now if there are some modifications that has been done in that office here, or I have the floor plan that does not have all the details, I can just add a comment. So you just press on the screen, and then there will be a pop-up showing up, and here you can enter some comments. So I just say wall added, for instance. Then I press on OK. And that information will be available on Link Live afterwards. So I'll just carry on slightly here again. And when I'm done, basically, I just click on Stop here. And you have two options. You can upload the project into your Link Live account, or you can export to the AirMagnet Surveyor Pro as well. So let's do export or upload into Link Live. Here, I will put a name, which is Demo April. You can add some comment there as well. And then you upload this into your Link Live account. In Link Live, you can see the latest project that's been uploaded, which is the Demo April here. So you just select it, and you have some options. You can open the Analysis, Wi-Fi survey, or you can from here export directly to the Surveyor Pro application. So let's open the Wi-Fi survey here. So here you can actually see, just click on the path here, you can actually see when you started and when you ended. You have on the left hand side a scroll down menu here. This 2 at the end says active will show that you have done active and passive survey at the same time. If you only do a passive survey, those 2 will be grayscaled here. You will not be able to access them. Yeah? You can here change and see the noise or the SNR heat map. You can also use the filter. So you have all the SSID. Remember we did active and passive surveys, so all the SSID that are shown here are the one that has been collected and seen from my surrounding. And I can actually just unselect all of them and select the one that I want to look at, for instance 5 here. And then just say apply. And then it will show me exactly the impact on the signal coverage from that specific network. I will apply all of them. Then you can have the same for the band. So if I add 6 gig band here, I will have 2.4, 5, and 6 again to select here. Same goes for the channels. Remember we selected all of them, but you can select the one that you want to use, so like the 1, 6, and so on. The BSSID, APs list are here as well, and so on. On the right hand side, you have the path, so you have the value that can be shown here. You have the dimension of the plan. The heat map, do you want to see it or not? The AP location, so when you click on that, you have all the AP that has been detected here. If you unselect it and say, well, I just want to see the TP link, for instance, then it's going to show you where that device access point is located. The note that we did before, if you click on that, then you will be able to see, so you can add some more comment if needed here. Now, if you click on any of those points or data point that has been collected, you will have a list of all the details on the below here, such as the SSID, BSSID, AP name, and so on. If you select the active survey and you click on one of those data points, you can actually see here that you only have one SSID shows. Makes sense because this is the one that we actually connected to. And if you want to have information of every single APs and SSID that are around you, you will have to actually go back to the signal here and create, well, just open the passive survey that will give you information of everything that has been collected. Okay. You also have the insight kind of application here. And this is where you're going to set all the limits. So you have the first AP coverage, second, and so on. You have SNR DB, co-channel interferences. Note that at the end of all of them there is info. You just click on that and then you will have information of how and what to set to the best, such as, for instance, the SNR. What is the best SNR value that you can have here, and you can actually do some changing directly from that screen here. Every changing that has been made, you will click on apply, and then you will be have an impact on the screen, on the map. So this is from 2.4 and 5. Obviously, if we add the 6 gig, we will also have the information from that band in here as well. I will close this. Now, if I want to do some report here, if I want to actually create some PDF report, the first thing I will have to do on the side below right here, you just go to the template. And in a template, you can create as many templates as you want that will refer to what you see on the screen here. So basically what I'm saying here is that if I create a template now, having those two open, so I have the floor plan and the signal coverage on the top here, and on the below I have all the information of every single SSID that has been discovered, plus the signal coverage. I mean, everything that is on this list will be included into that template. If I close that menu, and I go back here and I say manage template and I create a template, now it will only have the information of the floor plan and the signal coverage. So that's what I say, what you see on your screen is what will be added to that specific template. So to create one is very simple, just add template, new template, and you will say a signal dbm for instance, then you say save. And when you want to create your report, on the below right you will select generate report. In here you can have a logo from your company, you have the title here that can be changed, you say next, then select all, generate, and when you go on the side here to file and you select the demo April, then you can actually see here what has been added into that report. So you can have all the templates if you want to, or just select one specific template to show one specific view and report information. So I mentioned before we have two options to upload a floor plan into the AirMapper. We saw importing floor plan via a USB, but what you can also do here on the side is floor plan. So what you can do here, there is one that is already here, but you can just drop a floor plan directly into Link Live. Just click on edit here, and here you will have the possibility to enter a name, to scale the floor plan, go on calibrate here, and then move the cursor of your mouse into the floor plan to two specific spots here where you know the distance between. So I will say maybe set 70 meters here, and I say set calibration. Same as we did before on the AirMapper, I will do it here. So 8 meters is the signal propagation. And when this is done here, I will say publish. And that floor plan will now be available to all the devices that support AirMapper. So if I select this one, I will upload that floor plan to all of those AirCheck that I have claimed on my account. But what I can also do is to select only one of them and then push to the unit. So the floor plan will be pushed and sent to that specific AirCheck. And the technician on site will just need to click on the AirMapper application. That will open, it will be ready to actually run his survey. And other feature when you upload the project into Link Live is that you can also use the analysis here. And analysis on the left hand side, you have the possibility to select channels, SSID. You have the options, the APs there, BSSID, the interferences, client, and so on. So let's go back to the top here, the channels. Remember, you have a filter on every page here. So if you just say, well, I just want to see 5 gig band, for instance, you can actually just select that and it will be only the 5 gig display in that list in here. Same will go to 2.4 and so on. You can select the devices. You can have the SSID, so which SSID I'm looking at. Let's go back to the 5. I can actually just show that one, or any of the other that are on that list here will be added. So it's very important to use those filtering, because if you have a huge amount of, there's not that many here, but if you have hundreds of them, then you just want to actually make sure you focus on the one you are looking at, and you want to make sure that this and only that information will be shown on that list. And then you can also show all the clients that are being detected here as well. When this is done, you click on apply. That creates some filters on top here. When you don't want those filters anymore, just click on them and that will delete all of them. Same thing here, you can just export that, create some template, and also generate some report as well. If you have done a BLE survey, the BLE options here will be available. And then you will be able to open and see exactly what BLE devices has been discovered there and where they are located. You can also export the project to AirMagnet, so AirPro, so let's do that. Just click on it here, that generates a plan on the below here, the demo april.amp. So if I double click on this one, then I will be able to open it with Surveyor Pro. So you will be able to open that project into your Surveyor Pro application. On the side here it says AM, so you know that this is a project that has been done with the Air Mapper, and this is active. And you also have the passive survey on the side there as well. So you can use all the extra features that Air Magnet Surveyor Pro does have, and the reporting as well. So let's go back to the AirCheck G3 here. So this is the project that has been done, so now we can actually close it. The next feature that I want to show you is the hyperv test here. I will just open it. You can use the hyperv test with the test accessory from NetAlly, which is basically an hyperv v3 server. If you do not have one, you can install hyperv server on your laptop and use that to run this specific test here, throughput test. If you are using a test accessories and it is connected to your network, what you can do, go to Discovery, and on Discovery list it will show you the test accessories 178.251 here. So if I do select this one and I go to the tools, then from here I can select the hyperv test, and then I don't have to enter anything manually. Everything will be uploaded here. So let's check what are the hyperv settings that I can use here. So you have the IP just mentioned 178.251, which is my test accessory. You have a port per default 5201. You have the duration, so it can be 10 seconds up to 600 seconds. And then you can choose between a TCP and UDP. So the TCP is only giving you the throughput information, and UDP will be giving you also the frame lost. And then the direction, so you have up screen, down screen, and you can also select both up and down screen here. And then when this is done, you can start your test, and that will be uploaded into your Link Live account. In your Link Live account, you go to the result here. I created some folders, so I know I just saved the hyperv test inside those folders, and it's giving you the information of the throughput here. And then you can also obviously add some picture if needed. You have the port selected here. We are run a TCP test to a full duration of 1 minute. So the Wi-Fi Analysis app scans the wireless channel in your environment to discover and gather data about the devices and traffic on your Wi-Fi network. So the scan will begin obviously when you start the AirCheck G3, and you can see on the top here the scan moving from one channel to the other with a passive scan. The AirCheck G3 has Wi-Fi 5 and 6 radio, so we actually do support A, B, G, N, AC, and AX. So let's open the Wi-Fi app here. First page will display the channels map. So you have the Wi-Fi utilization, non-Wi-Fi utilization, retry, AP, client, and illegal. Before we go in any more details here, on the left hand side there is a menu, and from here you can select what do you want to see. So you can actually select the SSID, and that will be just showing on the map here. You can select the APs, BSSID, and client. Then you have the general settings here. If you click on that, you will have the possibility to select the port that you want to use, the country, the bands. So from here you have the tri bands. If you say, well, I don't have anything on 6 gig, you can actually deselect those. And the channels. I take the 5, but I could take the 4 as well. It's just to show you that all the channels are now selected, but if you just want to select some specific channel, you can actually do that from here. That will save you a little bit of scan time, basically. And then you have the dual time here, 210 milliseconds. So when I go back to that application, as I mentioned, there is the channel map here. So if I select number 10, for instance, whenever I select the channels in this list here, which is 2.4 and 5, if you want to have information on the 6 gig, you just go to map 6E, and then you will have all of the channels from the 6E band showing here. So I select the 10 here, and I want to have the details of that specific channels. On the top, I will have the channel number, so 10 obviously, the frequency, the width. There is a problem that has been detected here. We're going to have a look in a few seconds. You have the information of the SSID, the APs, the MAC address, BSSID if you wish, and all the client. So let's just have a look at the problem that we have here. So it says on the top here, channel 10 bandwidth utilization exceeded 40%. So you will have the problem description that will be shown here and the recommendation of how to solve that issue. What you can also do here, if you want more information, you can do a capture file. So it's going to create a pickup file up to 1 gig, and then you will be able to export that to your laptop and open it with Wireshark, for instance, for further investigation. The other thing here is that you can go to the clients. I will select the client on the top here. There is a little toolbox on the below right. If I click on that, I'm able to select locate. In here, I can add an external antenna, which gives me a little bit more accuracy to locate that specific device, especially if it's a very busy environment. But it's not, if you don't have it, that will work anyway, but it's probably less accurate. When you reach minus 35, well, minus 30 to minus 20, you're pretty sure that you are underneath of the device. What you can also do here is that you can have the sound, so it's a beep, beep, beep. The closer you will come to the device, the faster the beeper will show. Oh, and one more thing here. You also have the traffic statistics that you can actually run. It will give you the information of the utilization on the top here, the signal in a way. So you have the noise SNR value, and then if you scroll down here, you have the channel utilization in Wi-Fi and non-Wi-Fi and the retry rate. Those graphs that you have here can actually be uploaded into your Link Live account and to be added to a report if you want to. On the top here, you also have overlap. If you click on that, and you will select the first channel on top here, then you go to the AP details, and then you will have the information of that specific AP. So you will have the IP address, you'll have the name of the manufacturer engineers here, you will have the type, so it is WP8U, so it's AC. Then you have the signal coverage here, and then information on the channels. We have 6 and 40. If I click on that, I will have the information on both, so one on 2.4 and the other one on the 5 gig band. If you click on this one, then you will have the information of that specific channels with all the, well, if there is any issue that will be reported there as well. And then you will have the SSID, APs, BSSID and client. And again, that little tool here, if you want further information, you can always run the capture or show the channel map, and you will come back to what we had before. So you can do that, select another one for instance here, and again, click here. So you have either the AP details or channel details, but whenever you use first or you open first, you will be able to, in that graph, going back to showing the AP details, channel, or even the spectrum here. So that is for the channel map. You have the channels information, you have the SSID information, you have the APs information, BSSID, and all the client will be shown and displayed here. What I can also do is go back to my menu here, and I will select the access point, for instance. From this, I have the possibility to use the filtering here, so I can use the what's there, the tri-band, so they have 2.4, 5, and 6. So I can actually select the one that I want to have show, and that goes with the other options on the below here. On the left-hand side, or right-hand side, you also have the filter. You can actually look per signal. You can look per name, problems. So if you click on that, all the problems will be uploaded here. So there is error, there is warning, and when those are solved, by the way, they will be shown as resolved. So again, just come here, go to the problem, and there is 4 problems here. So you can actually select the first one on the top here to actually see what is the issue. And then it is going always to have that problem description, which I think is very, very helpful. and you always will have the recommendation of how to solve that specific issue. And that's going to save you an awful lot of time. Now, when this is done, so that has been resolved, instead of keeping those problems that can, come back and be added, just clear those problems. So when you do a new scan again, if new problems are detected, they will be not added to that queue, but they just will be showing as problem 1 instead of having warning 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on here. Then you have the BSS ID. I mean, obviously, if you click on that, you will have the information of all the BSS ID that are there. And then you can actually go a little bit deeper to see exactly what, if any, problem are shown here. And then you have the information of the channels used, the signal coverage, signal strength, not coverage, the SNR value, and so on. And then you can do you can actually come back here and have, for instance, the BSS. You can actually keep coming to that menu, or you can navigate directly from where you are here to actually show all those information. Note that if you create a filter on the top here, next to the filter sign, it will be number 1. There's only one filter here. If you want to take this filter away, you just click on that. And then when you just push back, then you can see next to the filter logo there are no more number, which means that we don't have any filter anymore here. And you can upload those results into your Link Live account in here. So together with the auto test application, this is where you're going to spend a lot of time when you do your troubleshooting on site. So let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation. First is the advantages of the AirCheck G3 over the AirCheck G2. The AirCheck G3 have a Wi-Fi 6E radio and does support A, B, GN, AC, and AX media type, while the AirCheck G2 only had Wi-Fi 5 radio. We do now support tri-band. The AirCheck G3 has 2 radio, Wi-Fi 5 and Wi-Fi 6E. We do have a support for the Bluetooth. Android system is the new operating system on the G3, and that allows you to install some third-party application. The typical battery life was 4.5 hours with the G2. It is now up to 10 hours, so it's more than 2 times more. The charge time, 7 hours for the G2, it is now 3 to 4 hours. The AirMapper Wi-Fi SAT survey application does support active and passive survey to be run at the same time because the G3 does have 2 Wi-Fi radio. On the AirCheck G2, you could only do either an active or a passive survey. And you can also, with the AirMapper application, run BLE site survey. There is spectrum analysis application on the G3 that will work with the NXT1000 USB adapter. And it says here optionals because if you purchase the AirCheck G3 Pro, that adapter will not be included. Then we have the auto test functionality, so you can now create multiple profiles and run those profiles at the time. When with the AirCheck G2 you were only able to run one single profile at the time. And we also have what we call the periodic auto test, so you can run the auto test with a specific interval to a maximum duration of 24 hours. You have the Wi-Fi trend over time, expert advice. The device name now shows the both AP and client name. And you also have the topology mapping using Link Live. So when you use the discovery application on the AirCheck G3, you are able to upload that information into your Link Live account, and from there you will be able to open the mapping that will show the whole topology of your network. The cloud remote control, that is a feature that is available if the AirCheck G3 is under Aliker. And we do now support also, we have a tri-band antenna support. So, model and accessory, you can actually see on the top, AirCheck G3 Pro, those have the main unit, a bag and a charger. AirCheck G3 Pro Kit does have, in addition, the holster, external antenna, and the USB Spectrum adapter. And the AirCheck G3 Pro TKT is the kit plus the little dongle that you can see here, which is the test accessory. The device, the AirCheck G3, comes with 1 year ALI care when you purchase it, but you can always add 1 or 3 years ALI care. The product registration and activation. So when you purchase your device now, since it does come with 1 year ALI care, you will have to create an account, and I'm going to show you that in a minute, into NetAlly website. And there you will have to register the product. So you have what is mentioned here, you have 30 days to register that product. And this is how it works. On the NetAlly website, you just go to the sign in on the right hand side. You go to register product. Here you will create an account and you will log into that account. When you log in, you have some options. One is register product. You will enter the serial number here. When you do so, the product name will be shown here. You enter the purchase date and the purchase from, and you just click on register product. When this is done, you will have the product show on the list here. And on the right hand side, you can see get code. When you click on that, you will have a code showing on the top here. And this is the code that you will use to validate the ALI care on your AirCheck G3. For this, we also have a KB, or knowledge base if you wish. Let me show you where this is. So if you go down here and you go to the G3, for instance, we'll open this. You will enter on the top registration, and here you will see there is a knowledge base here that says registering your NetAlly network test product and ALI care key code. So this is basically step by step that you will have to follow to have that device registering you into your account. Here are the steps to claim your AirCheck G3 into Link Live. So on the NetAlly website, you will choose the sign in option, then Link Live. Then you will open this page here. Obviously there's an account that is created for me, but if you do not have one, you just click on created account. When this is done, you will receive an activation email. So just click on that email to confirm your account and enter your activation code at the website. And therefore you will be able to sign in that account. I'm going to show you that now. And when you sign into that account for the first time, obviously will be no devices claimed here at all. So you will select unit on the side, and this page will display. Click on the G3 here, follow the steps that you have here to claim the device. It takes about 1 minute. And when the device is claimed into the account, it will be shown on the left-hand side here. Remember that if you want to get notification email from tests that has been done with the AirCheck, just enter the email address in here. And you can enter multiple email address, by the way. And from here, if you have more you need to claim into that account, just click again on that plus sign on the below here, and then you will select the device that needs to be claimed. Follow the steps, and within a few minutes, you will have that second, third, fourth device claimed into that account as well. We also have a royalty upgrade program. So the AirCheck G2 owner with active ALI care support who purchase a new AirCheck G3 will get a 10% discount off. You can do this until June the 30th, 2023. Note that if the AirCheck G2 that you own does not have ALI care, you are able to purchase ALI care for the G2 to qualify for that discount on the G3. What you need to know also is that the G3, when you purchase it and you receive it, you do not need to send back the AirCheck G2 to us. You can actually keep that device as well. Available resources, so you can have access to the user guide on the NetAlly webpage. You have also the quick start and all of the KB, which is knowledge page there. And then you have a series of videos that are available there as well. This is, if you scroll down on the below here, then you go to the video, then you select the product, and then you are able to access those videos here. If you want more information on the product itself, so let's see on the AirCheck G3 here. If you want to have the specs of that device, just click here and then you have the dimension, the weight, battery, etc. etc. All are available on the website here. I hope this video was helpful to understand about the AirCheck G3 features and capabilities that will help you to troubleshoot any Wi-Fi issue you may have. Many thanks for watching.